Here's another study we're talking about. But the study is got brief. We already read it. Not really special on that. It's just revisiting factor structural greed. Study 9. Okay. Here's study. We don't need to lead deeper in that. It's just about the way it's explained. Okay, the commentary address debate over the factor structural greed scale in both original and short form. Original is a 12. Short form is 8. Okay. So you have something, a two-factor hierarchical module in the short greed scale. So what the hierarchy in here? The hierarchy is higher order factor or higher order factor is the hierarchy in here, as you're gonna explain later, but is passion and perseverance. Right? Still cannot pronounce this word. Perseverance and passion is a layer 1, and greed is layer 2. So that is the hierarchy. See that? Greed is included in passion and perseverance, right? Which is working assiduously toward the achievement, right? Persistent, basically. And the testing is show up that, and Duckworth and her study group acknowledge that the mathematical equivalence of this specification and error in interpretation. What's that mean? It means that that hierarchy is not have mathematical equivalence. So she cannot prove statistically or logically, but we all know mathematics is a language of logic. She cannot prove the correlate between the passion, perseverance, and whatever she calls greed. Greed is not better than passion and perseverance, right? So there is nothing called high order factor. Greed is not even a factor in compare with passion and perseverance. And those relationship hierarchy, it cannot prove by mathematical equations and tests. See the problem? And they acknowledges. She acknowledges by herself. It's an error in interpretation. So if she interpretation wrong the results of her study, all that 6 or 8 studies she doing, it's not the way it is. That nothing is called greed. It's a type of passion and perseverance. That's what she admit. And of course, it's 2020 after the multiple of debate with her study and results. That is how science works, man. You publish something, you're talking about it, and then other people in the same field, your peer, also psychologists, right, in the same cognitive science, in the same personality and trait theory, big 5, they jump it in, they say that they redo the test, they try to mimic it, they try to track back on it to see the validity and consistency of that. Why? Because that is their job. Make sure the science goes the right way, not the wrong way. Not repeat itself. What they call repeat itself, perpetualism, copycat. And who do the copycat? Been kicked out from the science group. That's how we do it. So she acknowledged that she cannot prove it logically. And the way she answered it, it's not clear to us that statistical answer cannot definitively settle certain theoretical riddles. And our argument for greed as a compound of relatively string proposal should not be rely heavily on optimal factor solution of questionnaire device assesses. Rather, a conceptual question demand a conceptual answer, which we believe attempting here, we not conclude by noting the needed improve of rationalization of tendency to stay committed to goal over here. What that means is that she cannot prove it statistically, so she bring it to conceptually, which is freaking philosophy. That's how it works. Psychology, it favors son of philosophy, I gotta tell you. So that's why I always say psychology, it have 2 parts. When we're talking about instant development, like psychology, already talk about this. Psychology is, we will start with the title of Study of the Soul. What the freaking soul is? Well, it's something we cannot prove by physical tests. So where that soul is coming from? Spiritual worlds, metaphysical worlds, ideas worlds, we cannot prove by physical tests. What is physical test? Statistical test. So now she want to pull it out on statistics and mathematics, which represent a physical world. She say it's conceptualized. So it's more philosophy part. It's more metaphysics part of the story. So now you cannot prove it by regular human being math guy. You got to have philosophical mind, have a conceptualized mindset to really understand the idea of greed, because it's out there. It's some way mixed between passion and perseverance and self-control. And I call it greed. You can call it conscientiousness, because conscientiousness, if you study hundreds of years ago with Big Five, which is some scientists were talking about after this. I'm going to show you why we need to call it greed when we already have the name of that. Conscientiousness. Who have the higher conscientiousness have the higher greed, because they have highly correlation with each other. So you just make this science part more complicated. Let's just make a new name for the old game, right? And you cannot prove it's different. It's not a problem with her. Okay, so now let's come back a little bit, study the idea of that. Already check it out. Underscoring or farmer perfect. Okay. It seems fitting closes the commentary by underscoring that our early work on greed was far from perfect. Right. Yeah, she tried to prove it in different. Use the wrong, the wording, the odd ratio. Right. Yeah, that's it. Indeed, we must continue to explore construction greed with both skills to resistor. Yeah, we need a greed. We don't even know how to prove it, but we need that. Indeed, we anticipate that with each advance, the limitation of higher research will become more signaling in our view forward progress rather than like a tariff. What does it mean? When you study new things, there are a lot of limitation and criticize. But when we keep moving up, we're okay. Yeah. He said that we're not alone in our interest of greed. Look for what innovation in measurement by researcher other than ourselves. What that means is ourselves. We cannot test it. Someone help us. All right. Try to get away from Big Five. The Big Five well study for longer time than this new name in the game. Okay, that's how she say about herself and admit her limitation. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that. And that's pretty much in the website. Come back with our things. Let's see what we have. So now we know that there are limitations in this study of greed. And I can show you a couple of the peer criticize her. First one, inconsistency between the greed initial promise and its subsequent lack of empirical support, which there's no evidence. Basically, that's the scientific terms that occur because the greed measurement had not matched its definition. So it's mean that cannot she say that it can measure something, but it's not. And it is a study. Yeah, luckily it's open. Okay, it's from the PubMed since 2018. So it'll be 11 years after that. Yeah, so why they do that? That our science do to keep track back. And we try to criticize it. Okay, significant. something is like abstract. Greed capture public imagination and creative education policy throughout the United States. Why? We have publication, it's just have a lot of imagination. They don't even make it clear, just using something trendy. However, because the prior study linked greed and performance are best by contradictory evidence, which is no evidence, or the evidence is not good enough. Commenters is really state that greed is overhyped. What it means, 33 million people view on TED Talk. Does it mean make greed become something applicable or something true? 33 million copies of New York best-selling book in New York Times. Doesn't mean it's become true. It's just a lot of people think about it. That's it. We suppose that the inconsistency between greed, initial promise, and substantial impact. Yeah, okay, that's the term we're talking. Basically, that's no empirical support for that study. And the measurement is not matched to definition, which is she already admit after this. You know, admit in 2020 that the measurement is not good enough. Okay, although greed is defined a combination of perseverance and passion, and measure and focus on perseverance and not capture passion, which is something really hard to measure. How can measure the passion? It's hard. And they use the meta-analysis of 127 study and 2 field study to show that passion is a key component of greed. And the current theory results together perseverance without passion is a greed, but it's merely is a grind, but doesn't mean. So what do you care? The word now that I keep grinding, right? Keep grinding, keep doing that, right? But without passion, it's going nowhere. It's not even greed, which is something showing up in the successful people. She's just the one keep doing it. What they call Frederick Nietzsche, you call that you are camel. Yeah, you read a lot of books, you carry a lot of knowledge. But what you gotta do? We just carry that. You cannot become a lion, right? The second form when you're really strong enough. Take away all the freaking book in your back and become yourself, the strongest form of self, right? And then you become the child, right? That's the third form of Uberman. But of course, if you want to grind, keep doing that. But I'm not sure you're going to succeed. Like hard working. But even don't love what you do, but you don't love working hard, detach yourself. And I was looking for Albert Camus of the absurdism, and basically the same thing. Okay, now we go to abstract. Back there, we don't care. We have meta-analysis, which in whatever meta is mean as something create something is meta. So meta-analyze, so they analyze again 127 study. 127 study, you concluded 45,000 case data to use the greed scale and adjust performance. So this number is much bigger than the number that Duckworth run on her own, because that is a lot of study, a lot of researcher think that term is funny. We gotta test it, right? Okay, so when you have the sample size larger, see more of a passionate stuff in the performance domains than their perseverance and greed, whatever it is. Okay, combination, perseverance, passion, higher performance. So we see that performance mixed evidence, a great relationship performance by highlighting important role of passion. When they say you gotta have passion at your job, yeah, have some sense. After testing 45,000 people, passion, greed, perseverance could be predict the greed and predict the succeed. Could be. I don't say it 100% sure, but it could be. All right, talking about this term again about public imagination. Angela Duckworth, 2013 TED Talk with million view. Okay, 14 million view to date. I don't know it's how many view now. A book, it's 2016 that the book we see become an international bestseller. Educational policy to the United States, design school curriculum, boost the future, succeed, making students grittier. Well, there's something dangerous. Now you want to put it on school. But is that right? Run to meta. So after running evidence field that have a contradictory empirical result. And they found a weak or non-significant relationship between greed and various indicators of success. What that means that greed cannot predict succeed. Because evidence regarding the relationship between greed and performance has inconclusively. Several commentators state that greed is overrated, limited, and hyped, and under attack. I don't know about that, but I think a little bit overhyped. Till now, it's not really overhyped anymore. Nobody cares about that. Okay. Like appearance support and greed measurement are not match definition. Yeah, of course, like whatever she say. For greed observers and Salon and others commentators and supporter academics use that greed in testing, use the perseverance a lot alone more than passion component. Even Angela said that passion a part of that. Prominent educational psychologist Mike Rose criticized greed and said that rather than calling the construct perseverance or persistent, they choose to call it greed. What that means is that name different things. Name it differently, the same thing. So it's basically the persistent. All right. Medical literature for greed as personality trait and compare greed to conscientiousness in the analysis. Angela Duckworth herself noted this shortcoming of theory measurement of greed, stating that she thinking about revising her greed skill, especially the question about passion. What does it mean? Yeah, shaking. Theory is shaking. Okay, like passion in the grade 12. In a recent interview, Duckwood note that I think the misunderstanding, at least one of them, that it's only the perseverance part of matter. I think a passion piece at least important. I mean, you can really contentious and judge about a goal that meaningful for you is not interesting you just directly. This means passion is important, but the key forgot to test it. Angela herself forgot asking that in a greed scale. Yeah, the absent of passion in greed literature and measurement. Okay, I don't want to go through on that, but say yes, scientifically, we missed that. Okay, and then they prove that passion attainment as a key component of greed. So we miss the most important part of the terms. Okay. Okay, they run a multiple study on that. And discussion. Okay. Columbia University is the reward. Okay, very good. It's methodology they use. Okay. Conclusion procedure study 2. Employee technology. So they apply business field when they first one they apply. Okay. They either meta-analytic study so far, and then they apply the employee technology companies, which is a little bit different with what Dirk would apply. Because Dirk would apply for more education field, even that it's the West Point or the Ivy League is an education, but this study apply on business field. That's why a little bit gap. Passion, harmonious, job performance, control variables. So they did apply and study 3 they applied to student in private Northeastern University. So okay, it's a little bit different too. Okay. So they just sent to Angela herself and a couple people to criticize feedback. Okay. Yeah, so basically it is. We're learning now the greed terms we have so far with application is not really good. The missing passion part, and there might be something similarity with persistent perseverance itself as we test. It's just basically persistent. Without passion, there's no greed. And then Duckworth herself agree that acknowledge as greed passion, and persistence. Those three things don't have hierarchy relationship and higher order relationship. Greed is not better than passion and persistence. And I don't know, still don't know what is a secret formula to make up the word greed. And she just say that, well, it might be the concept. It's not even the scientific stuff. So okay, it's fine. We had a lot of conceptual. We can call them like theoretical psychologists. And you know what a theoretical psychologist is? Philosopher. Okay, so that is first one. And we have the second one on this one. I'm missing a link, but I do have that study. Okay, the higher order structure of greed is not confirmed. The greed is only moderately correlate with performance and retention, and that greed very strongly correlate with conscientiousness, which is already C in the study so far. And Dr. agreed with that herself so far. I have nothing to say about it. Okay, we turn on this. Okay. And this is the study, I believe that is study talking about. Okay, so this study was a leading guy criticizing, it's on the academia.edu, the platform they publish some study. Okay, it's in, where's the date? Give a second. Okay, he's a psychology professor in Iowa State University. His name is Marcus Crede, and it's here you go. Was the leading criticizing people of this study. Okay, didn't show up to date. Normally it is. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what they do. It has been, I assume in 2008 something. Over 2009, might be 2013 or 15, something after all the book and the hype going up. Here we go. Here's some briefing. This normally is the abstract. Okay, greed have been presented higher order personality trait and is highly predictive about success and performance. And distinct from other traits such as conscientiousness, which is on the big five. We all know that. This paper provides a meta-analytic view of the greed literature with a particular focus on the structure of the greed and retention, a relation between greed and performance, retention, and conscientiousness, cognitive ability, and demographic variables. Our result based on 584 effective cyber 88 independent samples representing 66,803 individuals indicate that a higher order structure of greed is not confirmed. Yeah, so but basically what we say, there are no structure of that hierarchy structure, and that greed is not only moderate correlative with performance and retention, which is it's not really predictive performance and retention, but greed is very strong correlate with conscientiousness, which is a big five. We also find that the perseverance of effort faces a significantly stronger criterion validities than consistency of interest faces that. This is when the effort explains the variance in academic performance even after controlling seriousness. Okay. In agreement, aggregate the results together. Intervention designed to enhance greed may only have a weak effect on performance and succeed. And the construct validity of greed is in question. Okay, it's not really good. Validity in question is mean that it's not right. There are two key ideas in science. It's validity, which is mean value, validate, and credibility, credible. Can I believe it? And is that being well tested and well constructed? So the construct validity is in question. It means it's not a well constructed theory. Okay, and the primary utility of the greed construct may lie in the perseverance false set. What does that mean? The only thing they can do testing now with greed is perseverance, and might be the answer of the study later. That's why they don't test 127 research only tests on perseverance or persistence, not testing on passion. We heck no, how the hell they can test on passion? Okay, here we go. Here's their study. I want. Okay, so basically repeat the same thing. Cognitive study. Interesting and non-cognitive variables, potential prediction, determine academic performance, certain metaphysics finding. But instead of study habit, studying skill, this thing also is non-cognitive variable, right? Study habit and study skill. It's non-cognitive. You could be smart, but you just study differently. And he is might be one of the leading study of that. Personality trait, such as conscientiousness, test anxiety. So who really starting go to school, but always have anxiety at test and fail. Adjustment, right? Emotional intelligence, which is something really hyped to. We can talk about this after this. And learning strategy, pretty good strategy, even you're not smart, high IQ, right? Exhibit relation within academic performance are often comparable to relationship between admission test score and academic performance. Yeah, okay, it's fine. So basically, the IQ, cognitive skill, and non-cognitive. We all know that cognitive skill is important. IQ is important. You got to be smart to do the hard work. But some non-cognitive skill also important too, like learning strategy, style, and emotional control, self-control, whatever it is. And we try to balance both of that, but which one is clear and which one is which is the key idea that side need to be known. Okay. Couple meta study and meta-analytic review demonstrated for intervention can reduce anxiety and improve study skill. Why are we talking the intervention in here in a non-cognitive ability? Because we will see that when the Duckworth study of greenness get hyped by the TED talk, by the book, by whatever she doing, a lot of school system in the United States try to apply that greed in the curriculum chain, which is intervention. Did you want to change the way of teaching children because you believe that greed is something important and you can do in some way intervention and improve children greed? But this study giving you the idea, yeah, we have the same idea of non-cognitive skill because not everybody is born with high IQ, right? Because majority of us is born with normal IQ, basically, yes. And what we do, we got to improve them with a nurtural practice intervention to improve that non-cognitive skill. Is that a cognitive skill IQ is hard to improve. I don't say it cannot improve, but it's hard. So now we do improve something else. It's a non-cognitive skill. It is study strategy, emotion, control, anxiety, self-control, study skill, right? Social and personal skill that is own non-cognitive, right? You talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not intelligence. It's a non-cognitive skill, right? We call it intelligent, but it's not freaking intelligent. It cannot compare with IQ. IQ to cognitive is something make your brain faster than other people. Emotional cannot make your brain faster. It just do something else, which is the way you control the emotion. So that is called non-cognitive, like thing like this. And it's important too, because if you cannot improve, if you cannot make your horse run faster, right? Make it run longer. Yeah, kind of like that. Or run it a happy face, example like this. Or not harm, do the self-harm, kind of like that. So we see it up here. Okay, we have another connection up here, the personality trait, refer to greed, right? Talk about greed. And we talked about that for a long time, study about Albert Einstein. She haven't argued that greed. 2013 study of her, might be her book. That greed a good, even better predictor. So see that cognitive really dangerous up here. So you need to do an IQ test. Set to the greed test, right? Shankar may finding that cognitive ability correlate about P50.5 performance economic work shared. What that means is that high IQ cognitive ability is not really help you predict the performance academic work setting. Okay. I'll go up here. Not a problem. Okay. Okay. Grid hierarchical structure. We're talking about hierarchical structure, right? Grid had typical with high order with two lower order is perseverance, effort, and consistency interest, which is passion. Let's talk about hierarchy. Yeah, and I think he runs some tests, and they can prove that there's no hierarchy. Okay. Was a child as is possible. Okay. A potential is for approach we approve. Okay, that might be a problem up here. CFA strategy determine whether a higher order grid construct exists is therefore no particular meaningful because standard indexes of model fit cannot be used to distinguish between higher order model and a model with two correlate factor. So here's the term. Higher order model, which is greed, is higher. Passion and perseverance is lower and equal. It's a higher order. And model with true correlate is mean that those three things have some way relationship with each other. We don't know, positive and negative. But it doesn't mean which one is better than other. Right? Greed is not better. It's not higher position than passion, than persistence. And that is the idea. And that in science is important because now you think the greed can decide passion and preservation. We just need to test greed, right? But now we see that greeds only have correlate with passion and persistence, and all three correlate together. Now we have to test all three things at the same time. So what that means, we have an X3, right? We have multiple 3 times of the question. You're testing three variables to make sure the outcome show up and correlate between all three. This is if you fall out one of those, it not even working. Theory is failed. Okay. Potential more useful approach will be improved if all examine the correlation between the two theoretical facets agreed. High correlation which suggests that higher order construct is possible. Empirical estimate the strength of this relationship exhibit a substantial variability with some report correlation as close to real zero. What that means is there no correlation. Yeah, it's a multiple study up here. Some of that say strong correlation. Yeah, science, we argue with each other. And we have estimate population. Turn have to mean what's the study. Okay. Or whether to facets consistently separately. Yeah, we still don't know. Greed is a predictor of success and performance. Okay, let's see. I more likely engage in the multiple practice. Theoretical polymer, the greed performance, that relationship may not be strong in all, even most setting. First, the greed performance relation may be moderated by the nature of performance domain. Okay. So especially high level of greed may not be useful when task is difficult but well defined. That is, high level substantive effort and deliberate practice are required to succeed in manner facilitated and relatively clear. What does that mean? This means that greed may be excellent predictor of an individual ability to complete military basic training and succeed in well-defined academic tasks, but less well related to perform the tasks that are very easy, not require read, or performance on the tasks that are novel and ill-defined, that it therefore require both creativity and willingness to abandon unsuccessful strategy, tasks on which we may counterproductive. What that means is mean that greed, high greed, basically high mix of passion and persistence at work can get you the better grade, might be better midterm exam, might be better basic military training. But if you can use the same grade, but you keep doing something with hard to predict future, like entrepreneur, like try to sell a new product, try to R&D, research and develop a new product and sell it. Even you don't know that the result's good or not, because in the military training, you know that when you do 100 times one patch gesture, it's gonna be done, right? Do 100 push-up. When you then done with 100, it means it's done. Keep doing all the homework. It means you get A, right? Do the right thing, get A. Wrong 10%, wrong 20%, you get B. Wrong 30%, you get C. So we all have clear outcome. but with something in no clear outcome. Well, this is what they say, the ill-defined. We require creativity, right? It's not about art. Entrepreneurs need creativity of methodology or innovation, whatever it is. Sustainability development is also something that need a creativity with no clear future, right? Even we have global goal, but even the whole world now is still fall off, right? Or something too simple. So you don't even need a greed. Does not require greed. You cannot use that. That's it. If the task too hard, even you have greed, persistent with that, it might be counterproductive. So you not even productive anything. You just keep fail and fail and fail. That's it. Second, greed performance relation might be moderated by other individual difference. Then accessibility and metacognition. Yeah, something super hard to tell. Time may not necessarily to be adaptive unless accompanied by general potential ability to succeed in a domain and applying ability to engage in the time reflection and self-monitoring. That's self-regulated learning literature and social cognitive view of learning. I find important difference is learning performance. All right, what does that mean? It means that greed might be work if that individual already has some special ability and metacognition, which is we got to adding more variables in the greed performance, not only about passion and preservation, perseverance or persistence. You need to have high domain of self-monitoring and self-regulated learning. So that is two different things. Okay, self-monitoring, you observe yourself. Self-regulated learning, that is you put yourself a regulation of learning by yourself. You don't need others to tell you what to do. You do it yourself, for the good of learning. And a social cognitive view of learning, what it means, you view learn the practice of learning at the social domain. And you think about that cognitively, right? Social cognitive. Other people help you, the same classmate, the whole class of West Point is a best student who both learning the best knowledge of the world and the best manner of the world, that a whole social group bring the social cognitive for you that you want to learn it. It's not about you want to learn it by yourself. You learn it for other, for the socialization. And you self-monitoring every day, every single minute. Make sure you keep that social appearance, social behavior. And it's also some related to the self-regulation. So now the greed is not only about the passion and perseverance, but also about self-monitoring and social cognitive learning and self-regulated learning. So it's not an original thing that Duckworth already started, right? It's something bigger than that. And she just cannot find out that. Okay. Greed performance relation may be moderated by level of greed itself. Very high level greed may become dysfunctional if they reduce likelihood to help seeking behavior that are themselves in linked to performance. If they like the individual persistent too long attempting to solve the problem that is particularly difficult and spending time on other more solvable problem. What that means is you have too greedy, or the greed level of you is too high. You just focus too much on one thing, and you don't even not succeed on that yet, and you just forgot other solvable problem because you just focus on the thing you're passionate. You don't care about anything else. All right, you need intervention to make sure we do something. All right. Okay. Yeah, there's some biographically detailed, some highly accomplished scientific figure. It's like a study about Einstein. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's true that Einstein spent persistent many years attempting to develop the field mathematical description of the general theory of relativity. It's also true that Einstein persists Yin pursue an avenue investigating based on earlier mathematical error. Right. And Einstein also appeared to have only solved some of the challenging medical obstacles after consulting with a mathematician, Marco Grossman, David Hilbert, who, according to some account, almost scooped Einstein in the low mathematical frameworks and general theory of relativity because Einstein lay on seeking assistance. But they persisted in the narrow case almost without failure, and Einstein only succeed in this particular endeavor once he recognized his mathematical limitation and sought for help of more accomplished mathematicians. What that means? That is a whole story, right? The part you want to hear about the story is Einstein keep persistently develop the mathematical process to prove his theory. With his limitation of mathematics skill, yet Einstein, agree himself, self-regulated self-reflection that he's not really good at math. Or he say, well, he never call himself a mathematician because he's not good at math. He cannot make a living with math. So how do you prove that theory is right? Because during that Einstein time, there's no way you can test his theory. But he's a theoretical physicist. There's no way you can test it. He got to be fair and accept limitation and asking for help. If he have highly agreed that keep working on it, and no matter how many times he fail, he keep jumping to that mathematical problem he never can solve in his lifetime, then no theory of general relativity. Why? Because he never can solve it with his limited math skill. Like me, when I jump into some mathematical problem, if I keep doing that because I have a high grade, I might be wasting my whole life. Because I have a high grade, I have passion about that, man. I want to improve my knowledge, yeah. So that's why I call self-regulated learning. It's agreed, and nothing called self-regulated learning. It's only have passion and perseverance, which is you have passion, you have unlimited short motivation, eccentric in motivation of yourself. That is passion to do that thing. And you have perseverance, and you have stamina, you have enough energy and idea to focus on solve the problem. But you don't have ability to do it. Could be inside, which is cognitive skill, IQ. And outside, they're seeking for help, like Einstein. You will never be succeed. So what the point of using grid to predict succeed if you're missing a lot of credential like that, missing a lot of indicator like that? Even the case study is wrong already. Okay, so that's sound like a lot of criticize. Yeah, it's a lot enough empirical literature. Some people can find correlate, but a lot of people find fail the relationship. Yeah, so there was a lot of things up here. Distinction between greed and conscientiousness. Okay. So I'm gonna say conscientiousness in one of the big five, we all know. But okay. Okay, highly observed correlation between greed and conscientiousness are also concerned when considering that the concurrent assessment of the same personality trait using different scale typically yields much lower correlation around R.5. Meta-analytic synthesis of the literature of the greed conscientiousness, the relation will have clarified whether the strength of the relationship at greed might be a case of the OY in a new bottle phenomenon. What I mean? It's basically the same thing. She'll call a different name. That is right. Cannot prove. Okay, distinction between greed and cognitive ability, of course. Yeah. This cannot be a cognitive ability. Yeah. And Duckworth also suggests that greedy people on average tend to be slightly less talented. I think that is a term why population really loves that idea, because most of us is less talent. If we talent, we're in the minority. That's why you need to be higher ability than average, of course. That's why it's so popular with the majority of mankind is average. Right? And you love this thing. You think this thing make you more hopes that I keep doing that. I might succeed someday. Okay. Distinction in need to explain unique variance performance. Okay. Try this thing and relation between grid score and mission test got larger and very weak relationship. Yeah, it look like they don't have relationship of the cognitive. But that mean that greed people passion and work hard on one case people doesn't mean there's no way they can prove that that type of people have a high cognitive skill or not. So you cannot say that high greed people might have low cognitive skill. They cannot prove a correlation. It means whether if the correlation is negative, it means the higher greed has a lower cognitive, lower IQ. If the correlated positive, the higher greed, higher IQ. So that is only two correlate relationship in this field. And then no correlation, or the correlation is weak, it means it's high. It could be high and low and high and low. The two graphs is run differently. So that so that basically meaning nothing. So a lot of things is not really correlated, like gender and cognitive skill. You cannot prove that men have higher cognitive ability than a woman. You cannot prove it. There is no way correlate each other, right? Okay, let's see group difference in grade score. Yeah, they do some tests by different group because the 6 studies you run in different groups. They found empirical study that demographic variance like age, gender, yeah, what they talk, male, females, ethnicity, yeah, mix of that, and we cannot know that it's similarity or difference. What that mean is we're missing that variance in the test. The general position of greed within the nomological network. Okay, no idea what is. Interpreting criterion related validity estimate. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Too much technical. Coding. Yeah, I don't care about this. Transformation. State trade category. Yeah. Analytic decision result bias. Relation between reservation. State trade. Yeah, run a lot of variants. Showing up. Discussion. Let's see a limitation of this study. Okay, limitation of this study. Okay, so limitation is the limit in the nature and quality of data present literature. It's mainly study about the past. It's limited in the past. And literature related study primarily based on concurrent design. They respond to the measure agreed because it's a limit formed bias. Great academic performance relation because individual knowledge of the academic performance may influence by respond to the measure agreed. Yeah, exactly. I think we worry when you start to understand that I agree with high academic performance. You start to have confirmation bias that I get to answer the grid skill questionnaire with higher grid score, which is I can see in her website right now. A lot of 5, right? Cannot get instruction, get a passion, don't change anything, focus on that work, bounce back, whatever challenge it is. Even I'm like myself, that make it have a better response due to the measure of greed. Because why? But human is crazy animals, right? We lie to ourselves, and you just want to have the highest score of artificial score that don't even mean anything to prove that we are something better than others. And yeah, because we already know this term. Okay, second, there are at least 3 reasons why the Greek literature may be categorized non-tribal or malregistration. Okay. restriction is self-reported score. So that the problem is that it's about the risk scale itself is the score is not really reliable. Individual may also really not aware their true level of greed and unintentionally report inflate level greed. So that lie actively or inactively, right? Okay. For example, the population selection. Cadets in the U.S. Army Academy West Point have likely exhibit outstanding academic performance in high school and may therefore have a lower range of greed score than a range of found in the general population. Why? Hey, if you're freaking smart, you don't even need greed to be succeed. That's real. So that's why when I answer the score, it's crazy. Like for example, you have freaking high IQ. You don't see much kickback. You don't see much failure. Second, you're interested in multiple field at the same time. So remember the question of a grade 12 scale that do you change the subject every couple months? Make you more interested? The question of instruction. Some smart kids say, yeah. This month, early this semester, I like geography in America. But after 1 month, I already mastered it. I read the whole book in 1 day. What's the rest I'm gonna do with the whole semester? I taking that advanced knowledge in the undergrad student about the geopolitics. So that is two different fields, even they collect the other. Why? Because I'm just freaking smart. I can learn whatever field I want. So you answer it. So you show up, you're low grade. Then you change the subject too early. But it's not your fault. You're just smarter than other. Your cognitive skill is so much better than other. And this highly chance happened in the people in West Point, were the best university of the world. Right? Harvard student, they cannot even compete with a West Point student. Is that a problem? See a problem population? You cannot prove it. Okay, third many study examine relationship between the greed and retention were characterized by a very high base rate of retention. Yeah, and this greed cannot predict the retention. Retention means you drop out of school or not, right? We leave the future research domain, which is greed, consider 5 broad issues first. Researchers should attempt to examine whether greed exhibits type stability associated with other personality trait or whether it's a responsive intervention. What does that mean? Is that greed related to other personality trait or it's just a way of intervention, right? Yeah, the intervention need to be tested and evaluated, all right? And we got to be theoretical reason why intervention may be effective. What it means cannot intervene in changing curriculum, the teaching children about greed if you don't really can prove it correctly. Eisenberg, 1992, argued that industriousness, a construct that's similar to greed, might be acquired via reinforcement that repeat reinforcement for high effort, like greed, which will without generalized increased effort called task and extrinsically reinforced. But it's got keep doing that, reinforcement, keep doing that. Yeah, that is industriousness. And the study is in 1992, right? 15 years before Duckworth study. Keep doing it. Okay, study a long-term trade, whatever it is. Second, we research should consider examine criteria, then that span the different domain, work sharing greater range of activity and greater variance for task type. Intellective task versus creativity task. Yeah, it's fine. Prediction. Third, grid research should consider examining the potential moderator of the greed performance relation. Right, just is my potential moderator. The performance. Okay, the performance domain, individual difference, ability, and metacognition. There are some people who is also smart and greed. What are you gonna do with them, right? The moderator role level greed for the usefulness of mind degree, which is score and measure greed are related to score, measure, motivation. Yeah. No idea how to do it, right? When possible, the greed literature may benefit from refinement of the greed scale using method based on item response theory. It might like that the relatively short measure of greed are equally good as assessing low, medium, high level of greed. The lack of depth and breadth in item content lead to attenuation reports there effectively. This means that the measurement of greed is not good enough, basically. Conclusion. Yeah. The greed as it is currently measured not appear to be particularly predictive of success and performance, and does not appear to be all different consciousness. What that means? Greed cannot predict anything, and it's not really different with conscientiousness, which is the big five. We studied by hundreds of the researcher before. We hope that the greater rigor with skill development and greater focus on reservation process and more nuanced support that study design would have future greed researcher develop boundaries and condition for greed is broad influence of performance and succeed. What that means is that you have a high greed, good for you, but it cannot predict anything. Keep doing something else. Yeah, so that is pretty good study. And I think it did really say something I do see in this study too. That I don't think it's not a bad thing. That aside, science always try not to repeat itself and try to get over the illusion. 13 million people view, I don't know, 14, 20 million of views in a TED Talk. Yeah, of course, TED Talk is not hype anymore. It's just now there. It's just population place for the kid and underrepresented voice to practice a public speaking skill. Then really construct something well knowledge. Million people read the idea, million people agree with you, doesn't mean that it's right. I still repeat it, and it's technical things in science. If you cannot prove it, say that you cannot prove it. If you cannot measure it, say it you cannot measure it. You cannot use for anything, say it. You cannot use for anything, it's still in a theory. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Just accept the limitation. Accept the lack of empirical evidence. Except it's not empirical study. It's just conceptualized study. What does she say in the article 2020? Yeah, it's just conceptual questions and terms. We cannot prove it with statistical and mathematical methodology. We just see it somewhere in the conceptual worlds and the physical worlds. Okay, that's good for you. How about write another book of philosophy about that? Okay, then I did found one educational planning about greed, resiliency, and motivation. I don't know why they're merging into it, and they do have all the video and all of this term, and which is can lead to something. I don't think so, but it's pretty good place. I did have a link in here. Click on picture and showing up. It'll show you teaching a little bit. Here to see some video, YouTube video record of how people analyze the book about greed from Duckworth and her favorite presentation on TED, and a couple website, couple idea we only go through. And they talk about a little bit of resiliency and motivation, which is not really deep enough to let everybody understand it, but just let people know some general idea that greed is important, resiliency important, motivation important, although three are leading to some sort of the high performance and achievement, but scientifically, as we go through, we don't see that any statistical, empirical evidence to back up the idea of greed. Resiliency and motivation is something else. We can study about that another day. But about greed, it's preserve an idea that if study about greed itself, I don't think it have much application so far. It was about a passion, but about the idea of a passion and persistent toward long-term goal is something pretty good. It's something you can apply. Find something you're passionate with, and which is you can spend every day for next study here too, without burnout and stressful, and you count every single moment of your life that was it toward the higher goal. Do some sort of gonna achieve it. Is that in your definition of successful? I don't know. Is that the definition of your happiness? I don't know. Is that definition of the high performance individual? I don't know. But persistence and passion to achieve something. Yeah, you might achieve it. Highly chance to achieve it. Of course, you're adding more like cognitive skill and asking others for help. That's what we go test out so far. But think about it. Think about it as a conceptualized idea, like what Duckworth say. Don't try to practice it. That's what they say so far. Because I know nothing to practice, nothing to intervention in your life now. Just been finding something you passion and keep doing that. And persistence with the thing you figure out. And if you keep failure too much and you feel burned out, you feel down, you feel depressed, you feel anything that you never can get it, asking for help. That's something she don't say in that, but we can see in other criticized study. And you might be your passion leading you to the wrong direction. It's okay to pick up a new goal. That's the whole idea of goal, right? Something to orient your behavior. But think about it. Cognitive ability, non-cognitive ability, luck. Yeah, that's something you need. Passion and persistency to that. And well-defined goal. Those 6 components, I think, is something in generate speaking going to help you to achieve your goal. And that pretty much is for this study of this week so far. Next week we're gonna have I think we're gonna have about the organizational development field and sustainability development field, and then so 6 weeks after this we're gonna have the external development field. But this field, I mean, why we don't talk about the social science, sociology. We need to go back with that before we're moving on with psychology. And of course, psychology when go to big five, but a big five, I think is a key idea in psychology. Well, people forgot it, but all psychologists not forgot it. How to define yourself and help you understand better. And with a well-constructed mind in psychological way, you can know which study is good for you and which study is not good. Beside of scientific criticism and like empirical evidence, it also not being covered well structured in the root literature itself, like personality theory in psychology and cognitive field psychology. If cannot well construct with the big five, it's hard to be proved. It's right. So basically it is. All right. Thank you so much for this, and I'll see you next time.